What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I stumbled across this article. It says, Knights of the Old Republic project in development, Kathleen Kennedy confirms. Well, considering this woman doesn't know anything about the movies, I highly doubt this woman has played a single video game in her life, so I highly doubt she knows anything about the Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I myself have not played this game. I was never allowed to play video games. My mom thought I was weird enough already. The closest I was allowed to play was Sims. I remember my babysitter had Mario on the Nintendo, you know, the original Nintendo. So I played Mario, I played Sims, I played a little bit of the Force Unleashed 2, and when I was in college, because my roommate had an Xbox, I couldn't get past one jump. It took me like half an hour to do one jump, so I didn't even succeed at it. So I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. And since then, I've played other video games like Diablo 3. I really like that. But I've been really wanting to play Knights of the Old Republic. I've heard nothing but great things. I've learned a lot about the characters as far as when I'm collecting the action figures, and I've been wanting to get the books, but everyone's told me, no, Anna, you need to play it, because that's how you have to experience Revan, the greatness that is Revan. So this is something that I've been really interested in, and I do know some of the story because I'm the worst. When I hear something's good, I have to look into it. So I've read a bunch of articles and stuff on it already, and I've heard phenomenal things from people that have played this game. So it would be really awesome to get a story like this. But again, I don't think Kathleen Kennedy knows anything about this. I think that she just knows, oh, it was a video game that made money that was popular. I feel like that's all she knows about it. So having this woman that didn't even understand Luke Skywalker, didn't even understand the movies, you turn it on, it's easy. You go to the store, you can go rent it. Yeah, we don't have Blockbuster or Hollywood Video anymore, but you can find it on TV. It's not like you can go pull up the Knights of the Old Republic movie, because that doesn't exist. So I highly doubt she wouldn't even watch the original Star Wars movies. What makes you think that she knows anything about a video game? So hearing this, it's like, oh, cool, we're finally going to get to see a Knights of the Old Republic movie. That's something I would love to see. But with the people that are in charge, like Kathleen Kennedy, that's very, very worrisome, because I feel like she was just going to butcher it, looking at the way that she's handled the Star Wars movies that she has now, looking at the way that she handled characters like Luke Skywalker, looking how she is completely disrespected. She sat in a room with George Lucas, and she's like, oh yeah, I want to stay true to the characters that George set out. We're gonna, hold true to his legacy. And then the next thing, oh, we want to go as far away from that. We want to do our Disney thing. So, oh my goodness, Bastilia, I know I'm pronouncing her name wrong. Bastilia Stan. I don't know. I didn't play the game. I'm so sorry, everyone. I butcher names like crazy. But she's a cool character from what I've read that I know of her. And her action figure is really cool. I have his action figure as well. They're really awesome action figures. He's missing half of his jaw. Just FYI for anyone that didn't know. It's really cool when you play with the action figure. But anyway, let's get into this article. The Star Wars universe is only going to get bigger after Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker closes out the Skywalker saga in December. Why? Why do we need the end of the Skywalker saga? Why can't we see the continuation like we got in the expanded universe? Why couldn't we see Luke Skywalker start this Jedi temple, go train, go, put the galaxy back together with the remnants of the Empire, and having to battle that with great villains like Thrawn, seeing his relationship with Mara Jade, and then him training the next generation of Skywalkers and Jedi. That would have been great to see. Do you know how many stories? Do you know how much monies you would have made? But nope. So they're going to end it. Whoever thought this was, who was at the board meeting that's like, yes, that's a great idea. Let's take a character that everyone loved, that everyone would stand behind, that everyone would spend lots of money on for the action figures, to see this new line continue, seeing that the lineage continue. We would buy into that because we love the original characters. So of course we're going to have this love for their children and, the next generation of them, or even their grandkids. You can go into that, or their great grandkids. No, let's throw that all away. Let's end it. Let's roll it up into a ball and throw it in the trash. Great idea, right? Said no one ever. Apparently Disney execs. Okay, this is a big pet peeve of mine. You don't start sentences with "and." It's very, very bothersome. AP English, nail that into ya. Let's see. And for Lucasfilm, that means returning a few beloved stories that have never yet seen adapted to the big screen or small screen. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, in a somewhat you guys know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I can't speak today. I really can't speak. I know, I've said this word plenty of times. Apparently when I'm reading, I can't talk. Frank Answer confirmed that a long-rumored Knights of the Old Republic project is in the works. Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy confirms, okay, first off, when has she never not been frank? This woman gives the most generic answers ever. She's always like, I mean, there's room to expand on it because it's very obvious that this woman doesn't know what she's talking about. So it's like when you go and you give an answer and it's like, you give an open-ended answer because you have no idea what you're talking about. That's every single interview this woman has ever done. So for this to be uncharacteristic, now I can say it. This is very much within this woman's character. A Lucasfilm chief, Kathleen Kennedy, confirmed that Knights of the Old Republic project is in the works, stroking rumors that an adaptation of the popular video game series could soon be making it to the big screen. In an interview with MTV, Kennedy responded in the affirmative to reporter Josh Horowitz. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I probably will. I pronounce everyone's names wrong. Unless I've heard this name, I probably will pronounce it wrong. Questioned whether the Knights of the Old Republic title was in the works. We talk about that all the time, she said, adding, here's an ad, guys. Here's an ad. Yes, we are developing something to look at. Right now, I have no idea where things might fall. What do you mean you have no idea where things might fall? You are the CEO. You are the president of Lucasfilm. What do you mean you don't know? If I was the president of Lucasfilm, I'd have everything lined up. I'm like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to make Knights of the Old Republic. I am bringing in every single expert on this video. I'm bringing in the people that made the video game. I'm bringing in the people that wrote the video game. Heck, I'm even bringing in the people that designed the characters of the video game. Then I'm going to go find a director that can work with all these people. We're all going to sit down. We're going to lock ourselves in a room, kind of like, the 12 Angry Men. We're all going to sit down. We're all going to figure this out. We're going to have the people that wrote it, so that way the person that's directing it, that's coming up with the story, the screenwriter, we're going to try, and so they're going to all sit down. They're going to figure out every single plot point. It's like, okay, you want to do this? Okay, let me go through and say, this is in character for this character. This is in character for that character. If it's not in character for that character, we're going to figure out why. If it's going to make sense later, we're going to figure out. We're going to sit there until we have a story that has absolutely no plot holes, and if there are, they're going to get answered in the next movie. So it leaves you wanting more. We're going to have experts in every field as far as storytelling. We're going to have the best people on this because we want to make the best movie that's ever been made. That should be every single filmmaker's goal. You should want to make a movie that is going to please audiences, that is going to be cinematically stunning. You're going to get the best sound, which you already have John Williams, and you want to make something that's going to, be timeless and last forever, and that people are going to leave the theater wanting to go back and see it again and going to remember it forever. That's something that George Lucas did. That is why Star Wars is what it was before Disney took over. And why would that not be your goal? Why would somebody want to make a movie, put millions and millions of dollars into something, and not want it to change the world, and not want it to be great? But apparently they're okay with making mediocre, which I don't understand. Why would you want to make something mediocre when you can make something phenomenal? Don't understand. You're the president of Lucasfilm. Why don't you know? Why don't you have this planned out? Why don't you have it set? I did a video the other day about how, she has a 10-year plan, which apparently she does. Apparently it's a brief outline, like, oh, I want to do this, and it might take 10 years. Like, come on. You're the CEO. You're the president of Lucasfilm. Figure this out. Why don't you have a plan? Why? Let's see. But we have to be careful that there is a cadence to Star Wars that doesn't start to feel like too much. How would it be too much? How would be making a movie on a very successful video game, a game that people will stand behind, people like these characters, that there are so many people that are ready to see Revan on the big screen, to see that awesome character. I haven't even played the game, and I'm excited to see Revan. got somebody was kind enough to send me the action figures of all of these amazing characters, and I've done so much studying on these characters. I haven't even played it, and I love them, and I'm excited to play the game and to learn about these characters. Again, I'm probably not going to be that good at the game, but I'm excited to play it and go through that journey with them. That's exciting. How is that going to be too much? How is making a movie about something that you spent $4 billion purchasing too much? I don't understand. I really don't understand. What on earth are you thinking? Oh yeah, that's right, you're not, because you don't know anything about this IP that you bought. Kennedy went to cite Lucasfilm's attempt to release one film a year, but with back-to-back releases of Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and Solo in 2017 and 18, which they will pull back on, aligning with reports that the studio will take a hiatus from Star Wars films following the release of Episode 9. Why? Obvious. I know why. It's because you guys don't know how to make a Star Wars film. Because you guys don't understand the characters. All you want to do is shove politics down our throat. You want to make a Solo movie? You want to make a movie about Han Solo? Okay, why don't you get an actor that actually looks like Han Solo? Why don't you get one that actually can act like him? Why don't you get that guy that played the younger version of him in that one movie with Blake Lively that everyone told me about was great, and I saw the guy's impersonation of Han Solo. He was pretty spot on. And then you could, why don't you have Harrison Ford and have the beginning of the movie, have him having a flashback thinking about his life or something like that, or at the end of the movie show him maybe he's waking up and he remembered all that, and the entire movie was a flashback of his life. And if you're going to make a movie about Han Solo, the origin of Han Solo, make it actually about Han Solo and answer these questions. Don't make a movie all about advertise this robot that's going to preach robot rights, and then Lando is a pansexual. This is for kids, but Lando is, we're going to talk about his sexual orientation. Nobody cares. Did you ever get any of that in the original Star Wars? No, because that's not what it's about. I'm not going to a movie to go, unless you're going to that specific type of movie, kind of like Michael Fassbender's Shame. If you're going into that movie, you know what you're going to get. That kind of thing. But no, going into Star Wars, it's, a fantasy movie. It's a science fiction fantasy movie, and it's about the hero's journey. That's what we're going to go see. That's what we're expecting to see. We're expecting to see Han Solo be Han Solo. We're expecting to get the answers. Nobody asked why Han Solo's last name was Han Solo. I'm just assuming it's like every other freaking person. They're born with it. If you're in America, you're born, you get your father's last name. I have my dad's last name. It's not uncommon of a thing, but alright. You want to make a movie about Han Solo and it doesn't even answer any questions. If anything, it asks more questions, and then you throw in other stuff that has nothing to do with it, and it just made Han Solo look dumb. And you want to take a hiatus from making Star Wars film, it's because you don't know how to make a Star Wars film. You bring in people that don't care about Star Wars, that don't understand the characters, that don't know anything about Star Wars, and you wonder why your movies are losing money. You wonder why Solo lost all of that money. The Last Jedi. I mean, you can just look at the return audience from The Force Awakens and however so many people came back to see it again. Whereas The Last Jedi, it's 66% drop from the first weekend because nobody liked it. People liked Reylo. The crazy Raylers went and saw it. But it divided the fandom. All you're doing is pissing people off. If you came out and said, hey, you know what? We took a risk. We're sorry. As an artist, sometimes we're going to take a risk, and we just had to do it because that was something that was in us, that we had to get this story out. Maybe we have different views on things. I apologize, but as an artist, I felt like I needed to make this happen. Even though we don't agree, I could respect that. But no, that's not what they're doing. They're saying if you don't like it, then you're racist, you're sexist, misogynistic man babies. Do I look like a racist, misogynistic man baby? I don't think so, because that's not a valid argument. Because people like me that love Star Wars, that Star Wars is in our blood, we want to go to a movie theater and see Star Wars. This stuff is not Star Wars. So you taking a break from Star Wars, you're actually not taking a break from Star Wars. You're taking a break from the Disney Soy Wars. That's what it is. It's not Star Wars. I mean, we went years and years and years, decades without Star Wars. And guess what? The original trilogy still stands on its own. George Lucas was still making money on the toys because he made something that will stand the test of time. Because he put his heart and soul into Star Wars, and that is why it's great. This stuff, you can't even do 2 movies within 2 years because you don't understand. It's quality over quantity. And hey, if you could sit there and you could get the best people, because you're Lucasfilm, you're Disney, you have all the monies in the world, you can go and hire the best people. You can go find the hardcore fans that love this stuff, that will sit there and explain to you how to write a Star Wars film, or explain to you about the depth and, you know, the emotions behind every character and their drive. And you could probably sit there, a good screenwriter and a good director could sit there and learn about all of this and write something epic. But you choose not to do that. You have the money, you have the resources, and you don't use them. And that's why your movies are failing. Let's see. But it doesn't mean we don't think about lots of different stories. Because that's exciting. Because that's the exciting thing about this universe. You don't know anything about this universe. You don't know who Mara Jade is. You don't know who Thrawn is. You obviously don't even know who Luke Skywalker is. You don't know anything about Luke Skywalker because you butchered him in the movies. Kennedy said, further teasing Knights of the Old Republic. Watch her full answer in the video below. Oh, sweet Jesus, do we need to? Okay, well, let's... There's Josh. There's Josh, and there's Aunt Kathy. Actually, I shouldn't even insult Captain Janeway, because if you watch Star Trek Voyager, they call Captain Janeway, they call... Q's son calls her Aunt Kathy, so I'm not even going to insult Janeway by using the same terminology for KK over here. Miss KK, well, even that makes me think of Kim Kardashian. Do I even want to, like, put this woman on the same level as Kim Kardashian? Because at least Kim Kardashian is making money. But, okay. So Miss Kathleen over here. Let's take a little gander at this.
There's a little bit of bittersweetness in the air because this is the end of the saga, end of some stories of characters that we have grown to love. Do you think we're going to see any of these core characters again in the future, and is there an appropriate time to wait before considering that?
Is she going to answer?
You know, there is an appropriate time. We're using this appropriate time as an opportunity to see where we're going now that we're leaving the Skywalker saga behind. But there's no question that there's certain characters that we've created, certainly in the last 3 movies, that we may very well want to see down the line in the future. We also have huge opportunities with Disney Plus now to be able to look at that space and find perhaps even smaller stories, grittier stories. And yet Mandalorian, which debuts in November, has...
The Mandalorian, which Jon Favreau and, oh my god, Dave Filoni, they specifically said in the Star Wars Mandalorian panel that the requirement for working on this was that you had to be a Star Wars fan, and they only wanted Star Wars fan working on this show. And you could just see in the audience at the panel, everyone there was a die-hard Star Wars fan. There was not a single Reylo person in there. Not very different than the Episode 9 panel where somebody asked, who was that at the end? You mean the Emperor? You don't know who the Emperor is? The girl in front of me having a heart attack every time Rey speaks? Like, oh my goodness. But then you see Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and just them talking about them doing special effects in their basement because they are so excited about this. They don't even, like, Jon Favreau wrote the script on Christmas and sent it to Dave Filoni, and Dave Filoni was like, "What, dude, you really must, like, not be busy or something." He's like, "No, I have this story in me, and I need to make it happen." That kind of stuff is what makes Star Wars great, because you can really see the passion and the love behind it. Wait, really, lady? Really? You want to bring the Mandalorian into this? This is the one project that she has absolutely nothing to do with. And that's why it's going to be good. I watched the trailer they showed 11 minutes of footage of it. It looks freaking epic. And it's because, guess what? People that actually care about Star Wars, people that actually love Star Wars, people that actually understand the universe, understand the characters, understand the Mandalorian culture, even the Star Wars culture in the Outer Rim territories, they understand it. She doesn't. And they love Star Wars. And you can really see the difference in the work and the response of the audiences. This woman has no idea.
Huge scope and scale. So we're just excited about what the potential is for the kind of things that we can do.
You listed a bunch of the upcoming projects. We also know Benioff and Weiss are working on stuff. I just saw Rian Johnson. He said he's hard at work. We haven't heard of any female filmmakers that are writing or directing or attached to any projects.
Oh, no, we have several female directors that are working with us on Mandalorian right now. And we'll be doing the same thing with the Cassian Andor.
Wasn't that the big thing? That they want diversity? and they don't want any more white men, yet everyone that's working at Disney right now is like white. Rian Johnson, oh, I want diversity. Dude, you want to hate on people that didn't like your movie and call them middle-aged man babies? What is Rian Johnson? He's a middle-aged man baby. Why don't you want women to direct Star Wars? Find women that actually know a lot about Star Wars. Heck, I know plenty of women that know a shit ton about Star Wars, that know a lot more than... Heck, my mother knows more about Star Wars than Kathleen Kennedy does. That has to do with the fact that my brother watched it when they all came out in the 70s and 80s, and then me, years later came along, and I'm just like, Star Wars! I mean, you can ask my sisters. They don't care about Star Wars, and they've told me, my youngest sister, she's like, I was so embarrassed in class today, Anna, because somebody asked a Star Wars question, and I knew the answer because of you, because I made them watch it every single day. So, they probably have a better idea and a better understanding of this universe, and they could probably tell a better Star Wars story than this woman.
And then conversations with David and Dan and Ryan have been that once we begin to block out the next 10 years, that will be a huge focus.
Knights of the Old Republic, a lot of fans want to see that. Is there any development of that?
We talk about that all the time. Yes, we are developing something to look at. Right now, I have no idea where things might...
Again... You spent $4 billion on this, and you didn't have a plan. I did a video about this yesterday, about how she apparently had a plan. And I feel like everything that this woman says just contradicts herself. It's like, again, you spent $4 billion on this. Why didn't you have everything planned out? Why didn't you do what Kevin Feige did with Marvel, where he literally sat there and planned out everything? That is why Marvel is so successful, because he planned out all these movies, all these different characters, and then how now we're coming to the end, we're coming to Endgame, it's all falling into place. It's been falling into place, but he had to set up the pieces, and now, it's checkmate time. Why didn't you do that? A $4 billion investment and you have no plan. Oh my God. How? Oh my God. This is... Oh my God.
Fall, but we have to be careful that there is a cadence to Star Wars that doesn't start to feel like too much. We don't have a crystal ball. We tried a little bit with Solo to see if we could do 2 movies a year and whether or not there was really an opportunity for that. And we felt that's not going to work. So,
woman, what do you mean? Okay, if you actually understood Star Wars, like, I feel like I'm just going to be sounding like a broken record. If you understood Star Wars, if you knew anything about it, you could make a Star Wars movie every 6 months and people would love it. Heck, there are over 400 Star Wars books. There's even more comics. You could go through, and you have all the money, you have all the resources. If you actually had people that cared about it, working on this, that understood filmmaking, that understood how to direct, that you get the best casting director that just goes through and understands, every single project. They're in charge of every single project, and they go through and they go, okay, this is all going to come into line. Again, this has to do with planning. I mean, I'm not a good planner, but even I could have figured this stuff out. And if you actually cared about the things that you're doing, you could pump out decent films every 6 months. And if you had, people that actually cared, people that knew about Star Wars, you go and get diehard Star Wars fans, somebody that's read every single Star Wars Expanded Universe novel, somebody that's played every video game, somebody that's, read every comic. Even if you just get one person that's done each, and you all get them in a room, and you sit down, and you're like, alright guys, we're gonna have downtime, we're gonna figure this out, you could make it work, and it would be so amazing, and you could take over the freaking world. But that takes the effort. They're obviously not willing. They want to do the bare minimum, and they want to take these characters that are iconic, that they know are popular, and they're just going to plaster their name on something. They're going to get a half-ass director, a half-ass actor, bring him in, and then those are going to get fired. They're going to have to bring in someone better to fix it, do reshoots, lose money, and wonder why their films are failing. If you want an A, you have to put in the time. I learned that in college. I went to college for art. I learned that you are going to have to pull all-nighters. You are going to not sleep. You are going to put your heart and soul into something. And if you want to get an A, the more work you put into it, the better grade you're going to get. They don't understand that.
We backed off of that a little bit, but it doesn't mean we don't think about lots of different stories, because that's the exciting thing about this universe.
The last thing.
You don't know anything about this universe. You don't know anything about it. You could do so much. Why don't you have a plan? This is like, it's so infuriating that people like this get to the positions of power that they're in, and you're ruining Star Wars. Really, just retire. Just freaking retire and let somebody that actually cares about this in charge.
For you, the big reveal today, Palpatine apparently back.
Again, bringing in someone that you know is popular, that you know everyone likes, to get people into the movie theaters. What a half-ass cop-out.
Heard that as a pitch. How far back does that go when you've heard it?
That goes back to when we were talking about Force Awakens, and just the whole blueprint of where we've ended up now has kind of been in the works since then. But there was nothing more thrilling than to be in that room and especially have Ian walk out on stage. We were waiting to see what that reaction was going to be.
When did you let Ian know that he was going to be coming back?
We let him know right at the beginning. Really? And he was so gung-ho. He was all for it. He had a blast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool, I'm going to make another $1 million. Yay. Like, come on, who doesn't want another $1 million? Who doesn't want work? I mean, he hasn't done anything in a while. I'm pretty sure he was stoked to get some extra monies. I think he's probably got kids and grandkids. Come on, who doesn't want another $1 million? But this woman was so tense. Literally everyone on the episode 9 panel, they're sitting there, every single actor and actress, even JJ, they're all looking at her before they answer. They're like, can I say this? Can I say this? And she's just sitting there like completely like this. Like, God, that was a painful 2 minutes and 47 seconds. All right, let's read. Kennedy's confirmation adds credence to the recently circulated rumor that the Star Wars films of Game of Thrones creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are developing will be a Knights of the Old Republic adaptation. When did she say that? She said that they were thinking about it, that it was definitely on the table. Again, this is a half-ass answer because she doesn't know anything about it. There is no confirmation that they are working on a Knights of the Old Republic. Those are rumors that I've heard for a very long time. I haven't done any videos on it because, again, they're just rumors. I see them online. Not everything that you read online is going to be true. So it's kind of like a tabloid. When you're at the grocery store, you're checking out, they have all the magazines there. It's like, oh, Elvis is alive. Aliens have been spotted. Oh, this person's getting a divorce. It's like, okay, well, how much of that is accurate? Probably none of it. So this is... there's no... why are they even writing this article about this? This is ridiculous. The filmmaker's experience after crafting a rich, character-driven story out of the sprawling high fantasy setting lends itself to that rumor, as the story The Knights of the Old Republic takes place 4,000 years before the foundation of the Galactic Empire and shares similar mythic elements to Game of Thrones. Okay, they didn't write Game of Thrones. George R. R. Martin wrote Game of Thrones, and now that they've surpassed the books, the show has gotten significantly worse. I still like Game of Thrones. I'm still gonna watch it, but it is nowhere near as epic as it used to be. That being said, the Battle of the Bastards was freaking awesome. I loved that episode. That was amazing. But this is an entirely different topic for an entirely different video. But I'll just say, since they have surpassed the books, the show is nowhere near the level of epicness that it used to be. So I do not have as much faith in them when they are off on their own as compared to sitting down with someone that understands every aspect of every single character of this world that can sit there and guide them. I think they're the type of people that they need that type of guidance. They can do all the cinematic stuff. They can direct the actors. They can pick the right people to do music, to do editing, but they need someone there to be the creative overlord. So I wouldn't trust them with the Knights of the Old Republic. Let's see. This may be an era that Lucasfilm is eager to explore after the time period surrounding the events of Skywalker Saga has been done to death in both TV and the Star Wars story films. It has not been done to death. Well, I mean, now they're killing it, but you could literally continue. Look at the expanded universe. Look at all of the successful novels. You can go ask Timothy Zahn about, all the success that people have written about the Skywalkers. There is so much you can do. There is so much rich, history with that and with them, just in the expanded universe that they don't even care about, that they just threw away. So much you could do, all the monies you could have made, and they decided not to. It has not been done to death or beaten to death. There have been 6 movies on it. These ones I don't even count. That's it. And the Clone Wars. There you go. Because that is what Star Wars is about. Star Wars was about Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker. It was about Luke Skywalker on his hero's journey, bringing his father, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, back from the dark side to bring balance to the Force. That's what Star Wars is about. How are you going to say that it has been done to death? Oh, so the original story, the story that everything is based off, it's been done to death. Really? Really? That's like saying that they talk about the ring too much in Lord of the Rings. That's stupid. Who wrote this article? This person needs to reevaluate their life. Kennedy has hinted to Rian Johnson's mystery Star Wars trilogy could take place during the Old Republic era. Please no. Please no. If Rian Johnson is going to do anything, it has to be something that he's got to make up his own stuff within the Star Wars universe. That way he can't butcher anything that already exists, because that's all Rian Johnson knows how to do. Telling Entertainment Weekly, as Benioff and Weiss finish Game of Thrones, they're going to see into the Star Wars. They're working very closely with Ryan. Okay, that's what she said in the thing. Okay. Could the new sagas and film trilogies explore the Old Republic, or could this era be something that Lucasfilm is planning to expand the Disney Plus series? Well, they're trying to get Disney Plus out there they want everyone to subscribe to Disney Plus. They want all the monies. They see what Netflix is doing. They're seeing the success. They're seeing Hulu. They're seeing Amazon Prime. They want in on this. They have, just put Disney Channel on there. Put all the Disney movies on there. Come out with, they do this thing where they have everything in the Disney vault. So if I wanted to go buy Peter Pan, I can't unless it's out of the vault, which is stupid. I don't know why you would deny a child a freaking movie. I think that's horrible. If my stepdaughter wants to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, why on earth do I have to wait for it to come out of the vault? That's just rude on its own. I bet Walt Disney would he's probably rolling in his grave over stuff like that, over people just wanting money. Oh, we gotta wait until Snow White comes out on a new release because it's in the vault. Come on. Why would you deny a freaking movie to a child? That's just awful. But put it on Disney Plus. There you go. Every single Disney movie just there. A majority of the people in the world have children. A majority of the people in the world are probably going to get this for their kids, so that way they can go watch the Disney movies, so that way they can watch the Disney cartoons. Heck, I would probably watch it if they had, the original DuckTales on there, if they had all, the old Mickey cartoons from when I was a kid, the black and white ones, Steamboat Willie and beyond. I liked those ones. I really liked, I really liked DuckTales. That was a big part of my childhood. This new stuff, not so much. Not so much. And I love the Aladdin TV show. I know that's kind of cheesy, but I liked it. I like that TV show. The Little Mermaid, I like that one. I like the Hercules one as well. This is my childhood. I would love to go see all those TV shows that I watched as a kid. Even freaking the stuff that was on Disney Channel. Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven. Fun stuff like that. What was Was Even Stevens on Disney Channel? Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. But stuff like that, I would subscribe to it if they had stuff like that, because I like Disney. I do like Disney. Just because of what they're doing now doesn't affect the greatness that they did in the past. So all the stuff that Lucasfilm is doing, it's really putting everyone a bad taste in the mouth about Disney Plus because they won all the monies. But for stuff like that, I don't mind paying for it. I loved that stuff growing up. If it's all just going to be there, it's very convenient as compared to, me going through my DVDs. And I have all of these movies on VHS. Yes, VHS. If you don't know what that is, oh my gosh, that makes me feel old. But it'd be nice just to have it all kind of like Netflix. It's all just there. I just click it. It tells me if I watch it. It shows me where I left off, what episode, what season. That would be nice. So, if they're going to put all of this on, come on. Okay, well, let me finish reading this. We're almost done. Recent rumors that also just suggest that Disney is planning to release the animated feature films based on the old Star Wars legend stories. Something like Anakin to the well-received DC animated movies. So that could also be a possibility. Where is that? Where is this? I want to release animated feature films based on the old Star Wars legend stories. Okay, if it's anything like those a Galaxy of Adventures, it's going to be horrible. The way that they butchered Princess Leia's character, the way that they showed Luke and Vader's battle in Cloud City, like, that was just garbage. If they're going to do stuff like that, that's going to be horrible. But if they actually do, Disney level of epicness animated movies, that would be awesome to see. I'm going to look more into this. So, everyone, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to come back with another video on this. Hopefully I find something good. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you get that little bell, or click that little bell. That way you get notifications when I do videos and live streams. People tend to like those. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day. And may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye. Hey everyone, if you want to send me some mail that'll open up on a live stream, go ahead and send it to Anna, that Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.